please send our regards to Secretary Perez as well. He's, for those that have never had an opportunity to meet the Secretary, he is an extremely down-to-earth, roll-up-your-sleeves kind of guy who is very, very concerned with the inner cities, concerned with assuming that we get people to work, with living in sustainable wages, and I was very impressed with his demeanor and his approach, and just an all-around good guy. So you got a nice boss to work for. That's good. Our next speaker is somebody who is not new to GSETA, but I believe it's her first time coming to our, second time coming to our conference. The first time I've actually had an opportunity to meet Holly face-to-face. We've spoken many times on the phone. Holly is currently the administrator for the Region 1 office of the US Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration. In this capacity, she is responsible for oversight and technical assistance of training and unemployment insurance programs operated by the states of Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, and Vermont, as well as the territories of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. That's where we go in the wintertime, to the Virgin Islands. In addition to her work on large-scale system development initiatives, Ms. O'Brien has spent several years managing the region's discretionary grant programs. There she worked with national and regional leaders to design and fund creative initiatives targeted towards specific populations, such as the disabled, farm workers, incarcerated youth, and those with association with the faith-based community organizations. A native of Massachusetts, if you haven't heard her speak, you'll understand, you know where she's from. Ms. O'Brien holds a BA degree in economics. Before joining the Employment and Training Administration, she spent several years in Ecuador as a Peace Corps volunteer, working on community development and rural health issues. And prior to that, served overseas as a member of our U.S. Army. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Holly O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to participate today. It's always a pleasure to get down to New Jersey. I don't get down here as often as I like, but I do have teams of people down here quite frequently. Some of you experienced that this year as we had a compliance review done in the state of New Jersey. So we're down here, even if we're not down here. There are folks in my regional office who are always paying attention to what's going on in New Jersey. So this is the 33rd Annual Garden State Employment and Training Conference, and that's pretty impressive. But I'd like a show of hands. How many of you have been part of the public workforce system since 1982? Okay. How about since 1992? More. 2002? How about 2012? So that's probably the majority of you have, probably between 3 and 13 years of experience. I myself have been involved in this since 1988, so I have about 27 years. So you've seen, those of you who have been around long enough, have been through GSETA, you've been through JTPA, you've now been through WIA, and we're going into WIOA. So, the system is constantly changing. And as Perry had mentioned earlier, it's all about knowledge sharing. It's about talking to each other. It's about learning from your peers. It's about really being involved in what's happening. So if you're not doing that, please do that, because you are the ones who are going to make it work one way or the other. Rob was kind enough to mention all the federal Department of Labor agencies. I only represent one of those, and I do that at the regional level. But I'll tell you right now, ETA is the best one. And if you hadn't noticed, everything he talked about to make employers or workers, be successful hinges on a lot of the activities that are involved in the Employment and Training Administration. So we do take a lot of pride in what we do. We do feel that we are integral to helping the workforce system, helping you, really help employers and helping job seekers get involved with the economy. I'd like to take a moment to introduce somebody from my staff. A lot of you are familiar with Tom Dalton. He has been our federal representative for a number of years now with the state of New Jersey. Tom will be retiring at the end of the year. So I have Lee Reynolds here with me, and she'll be here for the next couple of days as well. So she is our new representative for New Jersey. She will be picking up Tom's activities. Lee has 15 years of experience in the public workforce system. She is also a former Peace Corps volunteer, so we do recruit heavily from people who, have a world vision, are trying to really move the system. So, Lee has spent a lot of time. She's been the federal representative for New York, the Virgin Islands, and Massachusetts. So she's got a lot of experience. She knows what's out there. She knows what works. She's been my youth lead. So please tap into her. She's there to provide you assistance. She's there to help the state and the local areas, help you through this process and make the whole system work better. So that's her job. She knows what it is and she's good at it. Don't hesitate to call on her. The theme for your conference this year is Innovation and Opportunity in New Jersey. This is a great vision and one I hope we can help you implement. It is the time for WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And, innovation and opportunity sound wonderful, but they're a little scary. It's moving outside your comfort zone and doing something different. So we want to help you through that process. I know the state's helping, but you need to talk to each other as well. We're all in this together, and in order for it to be successful, we need to keep moving together in this direction. I was asked to speak about the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act and the Department of Labor's expectations for its implementation. Just to get this off the table, we do expect you to implement WIOA. And although it was passed in July of 2014, it goes live in July of 2016. So that means we have 9 months to go. And we're trying to do everything possible to make that happen. It aligns, with a bigger vision for the whole government system, for the whole public workforce system. There was a report issued by Vice President Biden. I don't know if any of you have read it yet. It's Ready to Work, Job-Driven Training and the American Opportunity. If you haven't, you should, because it does talk about this bigger vision for rethinking the public workforce system and making it more job-driven. And that's where we're heading now. WIOA, really has to work at recalibrating and re-engaging the public workforce system to make itself a little more job-driven. We really have to reach out, get more involved with employers, find out what their needs are and their challenges. There are 3 hallmarks of excellence for WIOA. And as we move the system forward, these are the things we're going to be looking for and measuring against. There's a need of businesses and workers to drive workforce solutions, and local boards are accountable to communities in which they are located. So, this is at the community level. It's at the local level. You know what's best for your employers, and we're going to call upon you to really make those connections. One-stops or American Job Centers provide excellent customer service to job seekers and employers and focus on continuous improvement. So, you're going to be measured on this. We're going to expect excellent customer service. I know all of you provide that now, and you're always stretching to provide better customer service, and that shows with Amazon as one of your partners and the ability you've had to adjust what you do to make them successful. The third hallmark is the workforce system supports strong regional economies and plays an active role in community and workforce development. So we want a system that works. We want one where you're engaged. We want one that people know you're engaged, that they know who to go to when there's an issue around workforce, when any employer is moving into your area, when the education system has students that need to transition to colleges or to employment. You're a piece of those communities. You're what makes it happen. To achieve these hallmarks of excellence and become more job-driven, both WIOA and the President Biden's workforce report talk about 6 key areas, and these are ones that we're going to be focusing on as we move out into WIOA. We obviously want stronger employer engagement. The role of state and local boards is elevated to bring in the voice of businesses, and to grow the economy, we have to understand and support the businesses with the skilled workers and respond to their challenges. And when you talked about Amazon needing to get, workers to a location and creating a system to do that, putting in a commuter system to make that happen, that's addressing the business needs. If you're doing that, you need to keep doing that. Talk to your employees, talk to your businesses, figure out what they need to be successful and make that happen. There's an emphasis on developing industry sector focused strategies. I can't say more about New Jersey. You're a leader in this regard. You have the New Jersey Talent Networks. You've been a leader for a number of years now. I would just say keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. A focus on career pathways to help workers move forward. We don't want to just get people a job. We want to get people a career. We want to keep them moving forward. We want to make sure they have the livelihood that they want. These people are our friends. They're our family. They're our community. We want them to succeed. We want to make the system more accountable. We are going to be putting out more common measures. We are going to be looking at the new eligible training provider list. We are going to be looking at, how to measure all this across programs, so there is some continuity, so we can evaluate. Being able to measure what we do is more and more important. If you don't have the systems in place to do that, you are going to need those systems in place. So keep that in mind. I know there are some vendors here, but it is important to have those systems in place that make your job easier, not more complicated. And if there's anything we can do to help in that regard, please let us know. We're constantly trying to figure out better mechanisms for reporting and helping people get trained on those types of activities. We want to support earn while you learn opportunities. Rob talked a lot about our apprenticeship program, but there's also the OJTs, the on-the-job training activities that we have been supporting these days, the incumbent worker training program. So there needs to be a whole bunch of different activities that you can use to meet businesses' needs and to get people engaged in the workforce. And apprenticeship, of course, is key to the Department of Labor, but we do have other things available to help you through that process. Rob also mentioned creating partnerships at all levels. The Department of Labor has been doing that. As Rob mentioned, we've been reaching out to all our federal partners. It is part of WIOA that we do that, but at the same time, we understand the value in doing that as well. It's very complicated to work with partners who have different priorities, they have different goals, they have different objectives, they have different customer groups. We understand that. We're trying to break down those barriers. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to do at the federal level. We're constantly in meetings with education and HHS these days, but all the federal agencies, HUD, Commerce, everybody has to follow the Vice President's job-driven report. So we're all trying to focus on making the workforce system work better together. So that's a charge of all federal agencies, and we are trying to make that a success. We are putting out guidance as quickly as we can. Keep that in mind. The Department of Labor has put out more than 22 pieces of guidance regarding the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Not all federal agencies have. We do understand that people need to know in order to move forward. We don't have all the answers yet. We're working on those answers constantly, especially the performance measures, because they are going to be common measures across several programs. So that takes some time to work out. We have over 2,000 pages of comments, that we're going through with a fine line to make sure we address all the concerns that you have as providers to make this program a success. We also have done a number of webinars, and they're on our Workforce 3.1 network. And I wanted to see if folks know about our Innovation Opportunity Network as well, ION. Has everybody heard about ION? Anybody heard about ION? Okay, all the federal people. ION, is something that the department launched in conjunction with our federal partners. And we all post information up there. I'm gonna leave some little diagrams out here on the table. It is a really good resource. We have webinars up there. We have tools and, activities you can go through to help you decide where your gaps are in implementing WIOA. So it can be a really good resource. Go in and look at it, sign up for it. As I said, all the federal agencies are posting to this one location, so you'd have all your information there, and hopefully you can work through some of the tools and really get an idea of where we're going and where we want you to be. So take advantage of that. I know the state agency has brought you together. There is a blueprint for New Jersey, and you're working on that. And it is key and important that you have a vision for where you want New Jersey to be. And you're part of making that decision. If you're not involved, you need to be involved. Your voices need to be heard. You have a very diverse population in New Jersey. You have, very affluent areas, and you have areas of high unemployment. So it is a challenge. You're not homogeneous. You're dealing with different populations. Your geography can be a challenge at times. You need to figure out what works for your area and make that happen. And I know the state is trying to do that. They're trying to be a partner in that. So make sure you're involved in those conversations. Finally, we know you'll be successful. We do understand that. We know that you can do this. You've implemented other programs. You can implement WIOA. But you need to think about where your value added is for the business community, where your value added is for your community, because that's where the rubber hits the road. If you're not successful, I'm not successful, the Department of Labor is not successful, but our family and friends are not successful either. So I hope you take the time, as Perry said, to really go to these workshops, listen to what's being said, get involved, ask questions. There's a wonderful array of all sorts of workshops being offered over the next couple of days, and there's years of experience that's available to you during this time. So please take advantage of that. Have a wonderful conference, and as I said, Lee and I will be around for the next couple of days and be participating, so trying to answer questions that you might have of your federal partners as well. So thank you, and have a wonderful conference.